Welcome to Our Communiversity today, sponsored by Pendleton Community Bank and Cucumber and Company, a community affairs program from West Virginia Institute of Technology in Beckley, hosted by Dr. T. Ramon Stuart, president of West Virginia University Institute of Technology, working to make a difference in Southern West Virginia. Guest opinions expressed on this program may not represent the opinions of West Virginia University Institute of Technology, Southern Communications, or its sponsors. And now, with today's program, here's Dr. Stewart.
Welcome to Our Communiversity today. I'm Dr. Ramon Stuart, president of WVU Tech here in Beckley. And I'm thankful that you chose to be with us today as we explore Our Communiversity. Again, I always remind you that I believe communiversity means the community is the university and the university is the community. And when I think about that level of integration, I think about the opportunities that comes through access to higher education. And I believe that higher education is one of several vehicles by which not only can we elevate Southern West Virginia, but we can also move to new horizons that allow us to explore new business and industry locating or relocating to Southern West Virginia. So today in studio to discuss higher education and accessibility is Kent Gamble, who serves as the Dean of Enrollment Services at WVU Tech. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, on Our Communiversity today, we're going to ask guests like Kent to not only help us answer these questions, why not us and why not now? So right after this break, we'll be back with more Our Communiversity today on News Talk WWNR.
Bank with purpose and Golden Bear pride. At Pendleton Community Bank, our WVU Tech Affinity debit card does more than make purchases. It makes a difference. Every swipe supports the William Bill Benn Student Success Fund, helping WVU Tech students facing financial hardships stay on track to achieve their dreams. Show your school spirit and help shape the future, one transaction at a time. Visit yourbank.bank to get started today. Pendleton Community Bank, here for students, here for community, here for you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Discover WVU Tech right in your backyard. With 6 ABET accredited engineering programs ranked among the top 100 for engineering and nursing nationwide, WVU Tech offers the best return on investment in West Virginia. Our small, supportive campus is home to high-demand programs in fields like hospitality and culinary, chemical forensics, and the only 4-year construction management degree in West Virginia. Learn more about all the exciting things happening at Tech at wvutech.edu today.
Time is running out. Your website's not working again.
The final meltdown.
You've called your web guy twice. He's on vacation this week. Europe is beautiful this time of year.
It's the final meltdown.
Avoid the meltdown. Deal with a company that takes your website seriously. Call Cucumber and Company today at 304-250-0123 or online at cucumberandcompany.com.
Welcome back to Our Communiversity today. Again, we're visiting with Kent Gamble, the Dean of Enrollment Services at WVU Tech, to discuss access to higher education. How are you today, Kent?
I'm doing well, Dr. Stewart. Thank you for asking.
Excellent. I'm glad that you are enjoying some of this warmer weather in Southern West Virginia. I guess in the enrollment world, having bad weather in the early parts of the semester is probably not a good thing. So thankfully it's warm. Kent, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm the Dean of Enrollment Services for WVU Tech, WVU Beckley. I've been with the institution for about 10 years. I've been in higher education over 25 years, working at small public and private institutions in the state of West Virginia. I'm not a native of West Virginia, but I've spent most of my younger years and adult years here in West Virginia.
So what brought you to West Virginia?
So my mother was from West Virginia. My father was from Delaware, and my parents decided to relocate from Delaware to West Virginia, where my mother was from in central West Virginia. And that's how I got to West Virginia.
And so what has kept you in West Virginia all of this time?
So my love for the great state of West Virginia, for the people of West Virginia, the environment of West Virginia. It is a great place to live and work. And I'm very proud to be a West Virginian, and I'm very proud to work with West Virginians as well through what I do in higher education. I'm a big believer in post-secondary education, and I want to see students go on to higher education or that post-secondary education, and that's why I do what I do.
Okay. And so you talked about what you do more than 2 decades in higher education. Tell me about some of your experiences.
So I've been fortunate to work at smaller institutions. And again, smaller institutions build great relationships with students and families and bringing them through the enrollment process. But small public institutions do a great responsibility with working with K through 12. So we work with elementary and middle school and high school students to bring them to the institution. And that's one of the things as I transitioned from a private institution to a public institution, I really value that role and responsibility that public institutions play. And I was fortunate to come into the WVU system and be with a flagship university. And that allowed me to work with West Virginia students and bring them to a system and bring them to the flagship WVU.
Yeah. And so when you think, you talked about that small campus kind of environment and talking about working with K-12, sounds like some community stuff to me where, you know, the community is the university and university is the community. What is some of the outreach that you do in K-12?
Yeah, so we're fortunate. We put a lot of emphasis of working through K through 12. So as an example, our admissions counselors are visiting high schools as we speak. But also, too, we welcome a lot of elementary, middle schools, and high schools to the university campus. And so whether that's in the fall, the winter, or the spring, we could be working with a local elementary school, but next week we could have a high school. So again, we want those students to experience and get introduced to us so that they know maybe in a year or 3 years or 6 years or 9 years that we can be the institution that they land at that's going to provide them with an opportunity for post-secondary education and get a degree that gets them a job and a job that gets them a career and an opportunity to stay in Southern West Virginia, an opportunity to stay in West Virginia and advance themselves.
And speaking of advancements, you keep talking about post-secondary education, and I'm just going to call it college, you know, higher ed, college. Let's talk about college. You know, obviously I've been in this a little bit shorter than you, but been in this game for a couple years also. And, you know, there's a lot swirling around about colleges. And one question that swirls around is college worth it? Is college worth it, Kent?
College is worth it. The investment, the ability to get the degree that lands you the job and the job to get into the career. So when we look at our evaluation on our achievements, we're fortunate that we have a track record of achievements and successes in placing students who graduate from WVU Tech into the workforce, and they can build their opportunity, build their career. So higher education, college or university is worth it. Whether it's a 2-year degree or a 4-year degree, we want our students to invest. And again, we're giving them the opportunity to launch them. So college is worth it.
Yeah, but you know, when I hear people say that and they say, oh, you all are the guys with those 3 letters behind your name. And, you know, some people call it a doctorate of philosophy. Other people call it something else. Or you run around in these wizard clothes with these funny stripes on the edge. Of course you say it's worth it. But I'm talking about sitting in Southern West Virginia, sitting on the couch, talking to Mama and Pawpaw. Is college worth it to them?
I think that we can build a relationship with the students and families and show them that if they graduate with a nursing degree, that they'll have an opportunity for the nursing field. They graduate with something like construction management or engineering or criminal justice or psychology. We can show them our students that have gone before and the track record that they have with job placements, job opportunities. And so we can really build on the success of hundreds of years that we've had an opportunity to build those relationships, show students and families we are the best option for them if they're considering one of the 20 to 25 academic programs that we offer.
Okay, so now you've sold me a little bit on maybe college is worth it or whatever, but you oftentimes get what you pay for. Is it even affordable to go to college?
Yes, so take a look at our federal and state and aid programs institutionally. We have a federal program called the Pell Grant. It's a great opportunity for students. We look at the West Virginia Higher Education Grant. That is for West Virginians.
Tell me more about the Pell Grant.
So the Pell Grant goes to the highest needy student. And of course, that's a very large investment that the federal government is providing to students and families to help pay for a college university. And right now, you're looking at almost $8,000 there with the Pell Grant.
So how is need determined?
So needs determined based upon your parents' income as well as assets. So again, when the student chooses to file the free application for federal student aid, those results will determine what you're eligible for at the federal, state, and the institutional level. So we're fortunate that we have great federal aid programs in the state of West Virginia. But also the state of West Virginia has invested in programs like the Promise Scholarship and the West Virginia Higher Education Grant, which are great opportunities for students to have financial aid. Then one new initiative that's been around a while is our institutional aid to reward those strong academic students. And so we're able to also offer those scholarship programs. So one of the things that makes the state of West Virginia unique is that we have federal programs and state programs and institutional programs that invest. And that's a big key. We provide a lot of resources as a state to offset that cost of attendance, making it affordable for that student and family to consider higher education. And that's a good opportunity for them.
Okay. We talked about college, is worth it. And then we're looking at how to finance college. Is it affordable? And this notion of the federal Pell Grant up to $8,000. I think you were talking about state grants and opportunities, West Virginia Invest, the Promise Scholarship. I think the Promise Scholarship is $5,500 a year. So you put the $8,000 on the $5,500. Long story short, tuition and fees, not including room and board, tuition and fees at Tech are a little bit over $11,000 a year for in-state students. And so, ladies and gentlemen, being the most affordable four-year institution in Southern West Virginia, a young person can come to Tech and get through Tech, and literally we would pay them money each year to come to school. And I think that says a lot for affordability. What are parents' reactions when you're showing a parent from Fayette County or a graduate from here in Raleigh County that they can come to Tech and actually get money back for going to school?
They're excited because, again, they see that cost of attendance is covered. So they have the opportunity not only for the tuition and fees, but we do have funds for books, personal expenses, and transportation. Because if a student's coming in from Fayette County or coming in from Summers County or Wyoming County, they're going to have that gas money. Of course, they have to have books. So one of the things that we do as an institution is trying to help them cover those additional costs, and those federal and state and institutional programs allow for that. And so that's one of the things that we try to do. And again, when we talk with students and families and they can see the aid programs that we offer, they see that tuition and fees come down. We can offset that and the additional costs they have. And so we do also have a lot of our outside students are bringing outside scholarships to us from our local companies, organizations, industries, and foundations. And so that only helps them. And as I always say, you can never have too much money. And again, we're very fortunate to have one of the lowest cost of attendance in Southern West Virginia and in West Virginia, but great federal aid and state programs, institutional aid, and the types of students that are looking are bringing lots of outside scholarships to us. And it's again in a win-win situation for students and families that are considering WVU Tech.
Ladies and gentlemen, again in studio with us today, Kent Gamble, Dean of Enrollment Services at WVU Tech. We're going to take a short break, so stay tuned to News Talk WWNR for more Our Communiversity today.
Discover WVU Tech right in your backyard. With 6 ABET accredited engineering programs ranked among the top 100 for engineering and nursing nationwide, WVU Tech offers the best return on investment in West Virginia. Our small, supportive campus is home to high-demand programs in fields like hospitality and culinary, chemical forensics, and the only 4-year construction management degree in West Virginia. Learn more about all the exciting things happening at Tech at wvutech.edu today.
It's the final meltdown.
You're at your breaking point. time is running out. Your website's not working again.
The final meltdown.
You've called your web guy twice. He's on vacation this week. Europe is beautiful this time of year.
It's the final meltdown.
Avoid the meltdown. Deal with a company that takes your website seriously. Call Cucumber & Company today at 304-250-0123 or online at cucumberandcompany.com.
Bank with purpose and Golden Bear pride. At Pendleton Community Bank, our WVU Tech Affinity debit card does more than make purchases. It makes a difference. Every swipe supports the William Bill Benn Student Success Fund, helping WVU Tech students facing financial hardships stay on track to achieve their dreams. Show your school spirit and help shape the future, one transaction at a time. Visit yourbank.bank to get started today. Pendleton Community Bank, here for students, here for community, here for you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Welcome back to Our Communiversity today. Again, we're visiting with Kent Gamble, who's the Dean of Enrollment Services at WVU Tech, discussing college admission. Now, Kent, we talked about whether college is worth it. We talked about the affordability. And these are different things that as gas goes up, as the price of eggs go up, all of us should be cognizant of these factors, but also very, very proud that we've been able to preserve the quality of education at Tech, but also make sure that we are working to help people make $1 out of 15 cents. So I'm very appreciative of our structuring in terms of our financing and tuition and fees so that people in Southern West Virginia can get an affordable, accessible degree. Now, with that in mind, you talk about degrees, and it's difficult because depending on family structure, and some people are grown up with a 529 plan, and there are plans at 18 to go to some college. It's not whether or not you're going to go, it's which one you're going to go to. But then you have other challenges where, you might not have everybody or somebody in the household educated. We deal a lot in first generation college students. What's that process of trying to talk to those families to make it acceptable or understandable that just because the family may not have gone to college doesn't mean their son or grandson or daughter or granddaughter can't come?
Yeah, Dr. Stewart, we've been fortunate at Tech to do a lot of early awareness. We not only want to speak to high school students, but we also want to speak to the middle schools and the elementary schools. We bring a lot of groups to visit the university campus, but we don't wait till their senior year to have the conversation about post-secondary education and going to this college or university. We go back into the middle schools and elementary schools and talk to them that Tech will be an option. I had an opportunity to engage middle school students from Raleigh County with our WVU extension program and make that presentation and plant that seed that we will be an institution that they can consider as they go through their middle school years and as they get into high school. But we do bring a lot of them to the university campus. We're very fortunate to have those groups in the fall, winter, and spring. I think this spring we're lining up to almost have close to 10, 12. But again, it's all different grades. And so, yes, we want to have the parents and the grandparents as part of that conversation. But if the student goes back and says, I had a great visit, I'm thinking about Tech and I'm only in the 7th grade, or I'm thinking about Tech because I heard a presentation and I'm in the 4th or 5th grade. And again, we have a lot of outreach that's outside of the admissions office. So if they come to an event that we're hosting at the convention center and they get to see a basketball game, they can think about that as a higher education and then going on. So again, we have some initiatives at the institution to engage students. Our Cub Club program is a great opportunity that. And again, we work with a lot of our local organizations and a lot of community and schools to bring students to our campus. And so it's an early awareness for us. We just don't want to wait till the senior year. We want to go back in the junior, sophomore, freshman, middle school, elementary school years and tell them that Tech will be a possibility when they get to that point.
And let's talk about Tech a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, apparently Kent and I met years ago. I was presenting at a conference and we were talking about different things, and for some reason he remembered what I actually said at the conference, And I used to do a lot of work with retention, because it's one thing to get a student to come to college, but you want to get a student to graduate from college. And I have this personal mantra that I think many at Tech is catching on to, that if a student is good enough to admit, that same student is great enough to graduate from Tech. And so when you talk about admitting those students, tell us about some of the programs that seem to be very attractive to the students here in Southern West Virginia.
So our academic programs of study, we're fortunate to have engineering and nursing and criminal justice and psychology, but we also have a 2-year culinary program. And that's also eligible for the West Virginia Invest program. So those 20 to 25 academic programs of study, we're very fortunate to have the ones that are in demand in Southern West Virginia and in West Virginia and in the region. So if you consider our business program, those are things that we can offer to the students, and that we have those in-demand programs of study. Our institution has a very high return on investment. And so again, that becomes very important for our students as they go through their freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. One thing that we've been able to do as an institution is not only recruit the students, but retain the students. And we've seen an increase in our retention, because we want the student to enroll, but we want the student to enroll and stay with us and graduate. And so we're very focused on that persistence and graduation. And that's important for us as an institution. So we have great programs. Our faculty have 2 primary responsibilities: to teach and advise. And so that student who comes in as a nursing major has a Hillary Parcells to work with that freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year to keep them on track to graduate. That student that comes in as a mechanical engineer has Bernie Beddick, and that Bernie can watch them go through that freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, what classes to take, when to think about internships and work opportunities. And so that's one of the things that we do, is we work very well because we are a small institution. And that's what we pride ourselves as an institution and doing for the students and families.
Yeah, I say this all the time to visitors, and you talked about engineering, and you talked about nursing and culinary, and I remind people that we are more than just ABET accredited engineering, which is the gold standard of engineering accreditation. We engineer success, whether you want to be a doctor or a lawyer. One of the public defenders, or the chief public defender here, is a graduate of Tech. Our most recent SGA president is down in law school and started at Tech. So we engineer success in those different things. But we also talk about, if the student is good enough to admit, they're great enough to graduate. And retention has been a big topic of conversation at Tech. Tell me some of the things where Tech is retention-wise.
So we have made retention a focus of the institution within the past couple of years. We cross over to other areas, again, where it's not about I, it's about we. So we have a lot of different areas that work, whether they're academic affairs and student life, our student success program, or our TRIO program, even our financial aid program. We're all looking at making sure that student is persisting and graduating from the institution. So we have those programs that can reach down and pull a student up if they're struggling academically. So whether it's individual tutoring on our Student Success Center, or whether it's a faculty member who goes to the library and has office hours, like Chris McLean in our mathematics program. So if that student needs a little extra tutoring, there's Chris McLean in our library that can help that student one-on-one. But we also have a financial aid office. If the student comes in and says, I'm a little short on funds, what options do I have available? We've got great programs with our TRIO and our first generation to kind of provide a safety net for the students and families. And so again, retention has been a focus. We've been able to increase our retention, and that's one of those things that we've taken the we approach and not the individual area and that I approach.
Yeah, so when you talk about this approach, you talk about, recruiting the students, retaining the students. You got to graduate the students. What does graduation look like? What does life after a degree for Tech look like for the students that become alumni of this institution?
I think that we have a lot of alumni who have gone on and paved the way for our graduates. And one of my student assistants has an opportunity for an internship this summer in civil engineering with one of our graduates in Charleston, West Virginia. But she's not from West Virginia. She's from Spain. But again, was able to connect with those individuals at our career fair that we host. And so Susan Wood does two, one in the fall, one in the spring, where we bring employers from the national level, the regional level, the local level. And some of those individuals are our graduates, and they're able to make a connection and start to talk about whether they're in their freshman year or their sophomore year, or they're in their junior or senior year, where they may have an opportunity for employment. And so that was one of the big win-wins for Tech, is that we allow an opportunity, our faculty, staff, and our encourage our students to go to the career fair as a freshman, and we also run the graduate fair at the same time. But our faculty are very focused on student success, launching that student on. And again, we have a great alumni base. We have thousands of alumni at the world level, at the national level, regional, state level. You know, again, one of the things that's unique, if you go into engineering, whether that's civil or construction management, we have a lot of engineers at the West Virginia Department of Transportation.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, in studio with us today, Kent Gamble, Dean of Enrollment Services at WVU Tech. We're going to take a short break, so stick with News Talk WWNR as we close this edition of Our Communiversity today.
Discover WVU Tech right in your backyard. With 6 ABET accredited engineering programs ranked among the top 100 for engineering and nursing nationwide, WVU Tech offers the best return on investment in West Virginia. Our small, supportive campus is home to high-demand programs in fields like hospitality and culinary, chemical forensics, and the only 4-year construction management degree in West Virginia. Learn more about all the exciting things happening at Tech at wvutech.edu today.
It's the final meltdown.
You're at your breaking point. Time is running out. Your website's not working again.
The final meltdown.
You've called your web guy twice. He's on vacation this week. Europe is beautiful this time of year.
It's the final meltdown.
Avoid the meltdown. Deal with a company that takes your website seriously. Call Cucumber & Company today at 304-250-0123 or online at cucumberandcompany.com.
Bank with purpose and Golden Bear pride at Pendleton Community Bank. Our WVU Tech Affinity debit card does more than make purchases. It makes a difference. Every swipe supports the William Bill Benn Student Success Fund, helping WVU Tech students facing financial hardships stay on track to achieve their dreams. Show your school spirit and help shape the future, one transaction at a time. Visit yourbank.bank to get started today. Pendleton Community Bank, here for students, here for community, here for you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Welcome back to Our Communiversity today. Again, I want to thank Kent Gamble, who's the Dean of Enrollment Services at WVU Tech, for sharing with us about admissions to college in general, but also some of the things that students can do at Tech. You know, I think it's very special, the role that we play here in Southern West Virginia. We are unapologetic at WVU Tech about being one of the most affordable and accessible 4-year institutions in this state. We believe that it is our responsibility not only to admit you, but retain you, but most importantly, graduate you, because it's with graduation in mind that we proudly boast having the #1 return on investment of any 4-year degree program in the state of West Virginia. So if you need access to higher education, come see us. So please visit wwnrradio.com for more information about enrollment at Tech and how you can help build our community today for a brighter Southern West Virginia tomorrow.
You've been listening to Our Communiversity Today, sponsored by Pendleton Community Bank and Cucumber & Company, a production of West Virginia University Institute of Technology and Communiversity partner, Southern Communications in Beckley. For more on this program and contact information, visit our website at wwnrradio.com.
Discover WVU Tech right in your backyard. With 6 ABET accredited engineering programs ranked among the top 100 for engineering and nursing nationwide, WVU Tech offers the best return on investment in West Virginia. Our small, supportive campus is home to high-demand programs in fields like hospitality and culinary, chemical forensics, and the only 4-year construction management degree in West Virginia. Learn more about all the exciting things happening at Tech at wvutech.edu today.